Okay, Chris, I wish I could see your hand to let me know. Anyhow, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Almost.
Almost? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chris. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Works Committee meeting. It's Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. We are meeting by remote. The time is 2:30 and present today is Councilman Randall Allison from the Public Works Committee, myself, Bonnie Katz. We have here, let's go down. Um, Gary Narr, we have Melanie Shute, we have Valerie Fessler, Kenneth Healy, who's coming in as an appointee. Hi, Todd Wright, and Scott Livermore, and I think we have Bill Scott. Oh, there's Councilman Vince Polizzi, and I think I've got everybody. If I missed anybody, please let me know.
Mayor's here.
Is the mayor here? Oh, there's the mayor.
Yes.
Mayor, boy, I didn't think you were going to be here. Boy, I'm glad I didn't bet on that one. Sorry, Mayor. Okay, I'd like to get going here. We have 5 items on the agenda. Mayor, I'm going to open the floor up to you with the appointments and the reappointments. The
Sure.
first is WMWA and so
Sure.
on.
All right. Yes. Good afternoon, Councilwoman Katz, members of the Public Works Committee. Before you, we have 2 appointments. We'll start with Mr. Healy first for Williamsport Municipal Water and Sanitary Authority. He was recommended, came to me by Mike Miller and the folks over at the Water Authority. I met with Mr. Healy. We had a great conversation, talked about the Water Authority and sewer authorities and his interest in joining that board. He comes well equipped, given he's an engineer, his day job. I forwarded his credentials on to City Council, and he met again with Mike and got sort of the gist of their meetings and the feel of the authorities and what they're working on currently, and sort of just a high level understanding of the boards. And he's interested, and I felt comfortable recommending him to City Council. Of course, he's here and can answer any questions that you all may have. And I'll defer back to you, Councilwoman Katz.
Okay, we'll open the floor up. Randy, do you have any questions to ask?
I don't really have any questions. Just want to thank Kenneth for stepping up, and it's an important position. The Water Authority over the years has increasingly gotten more and more important, with a lot of anything dealing with water nowadays is a problem, and that's a very important position, and we're a qualified person like you is just exactly what we need on that board, because it's always been kept at a high standard. So thank you very much for your willingness to be a part of it.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, I deal with the Water Authority on a regular basis with our company, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for, having someone in industry be a good partner with the Water Authority, kind of look at it on both sides of the street to see where we can improve the systems and have a great working relationship.
Sounds
Fantastic.
great.
Fantastic. Vince, do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Bonnie. No questions, but again, I would mirror Mr. Allison's sentiments. So thank you very much for stepping up, serving. Williamsport produces twice as much water as we're selling right now. So it'd be great to have good qualified people on that board to help us get our water out to service more of our local area. So thank you again for stepping up and volunteering to serve.
Thank you, Mr. Polizzi.
Yes, sir.
Kenneth, I want to say thank you very much also. Being appointed to the Water Authority, as you well know, since you deal with water, know that it can be very complicated. There's a lot, it's a big learning curve. And since you are working in that field, I'm so happy to hear that, because you will understand quicker and know what's going on faster. And bringing something to the table that can maybe be helpful. We do have the best water in the state, and our prices are really reasonable. That people don't understand that the Water Authority has tried to keep them as low as possible
Mhm.
and appreciate what we do have. But I do want to thank you again. It's not an easy job. There's a lot to be done with the Water Authority. So thank you again, and hopefully we'll get to meet you in person one day.
Sounds great. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, Mayor, the next appointee is RVTA Board.
Would you like me to step off the meeting now?
Yes, you can leave. You don't have to sit here. I'm sorry, Kenneth.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yep,
You
thank
too.
Thank you. Yes, next up, we have Nick, who is, again, was recommended to me, and I had a chance to meet with him. He also met with Todd, RVTA, and Noah, the current board chair, very similar to Ken, just to get an idea of the board, their current status, projects they're working on, etc. And then I had a conversation with them as well. Very professional. Comes to a local business owner, also vice president of operations for another business that he is involved with, has transportation background, CDLs and things related to that business. So again, familiar with the transportation sector via his private life his business life and professional life, and comes to us highly recommended. So again, after speaking with Todd and Noah, they felt comfortable. He did attend a board meeting of RVTA to see if he was interested. And after that, he reached out and said, yes, this is something that he is interested in. So I would, again, echo what was said previously, that I thank him for stepping up and being willing to serve in this capacity. Now I'll turn it back over to you, Councilwoman Katz.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. We did have Nick up here. I think we lost him. Did we lose him, Chris?
I think we did, but you may have. Or,
Hi, Councilwoman Katz. No, I'm here.
yeah,
You're-
there you
Are
go.
you on the phone?
Yep, I'm back. I had a little
okay.
technical problem there, so I had to join by phone.
Okay, I was going to ask Chris if that was it. Fantastic. I'll open up the floor first to Randy. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't really have any questions. Again, it's a pleasure to have qualified people join our different authorities and related city council issues. And we're pleased to have someone with your quality and background, willingness to serve on the board. It's an important position, which of course I'm sure you know. And Todd will be a good leader for you as well.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Vince?
Thank you. I
anything?
appreciate it.
Nope, I've known Nick for quite a long time, and I couldn't be happier to see that Nick's willing to volunteer and step up to again to be part of the board and serve. So knowing that Nick's on that board to replace somebody like Richard Stamen makes me feel more comfortable about the replacement. So thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you,
Nick,
Vince. I appreciate that.
want to thank you also. Is there anything you would like to ask council, which I forgot to ask Ken if he had any questions? Do you have any questions to ask of council?
I
Nope.
do not at this time.
Well, we're just very happy that you're stepping up. I mean, qualifications are impeccable, and as you well know, transportation is, can get very complicated at times. So thank you so much for stepping up. And like I said to Ken, hopefully one day we'll get to meet you all in person. So, and thank you for coming today. And Mayor, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending Article 117, General Fee Schedule. This is a final reading with just a discussion. Gary Knorr, you are up.
Yes, what we did, obviously, at the last council meeting, it's been 5 years since we did a modification to the general fee. And some of the questions that came up, we did make the corrections within, Liz had pointed out under new facilities, we should put new restaurant facilities require a fee. We never charged that before. So we did change that. The only other changes or questions came up, and I'm really going to refer to Scott Livermore because they pertain to streets and parks with the type of barriers and the fees, and let Scott basically address those concerns or questions that he has regarding should or should we not make changes to the existing fee schedule comments that we have. Are you there, Scott?
Yeah,
Scott?
so I guess I wasn't at the last council, so I guess there was some talk about if water barricades were included in this barricade price, and the answer is no. This is just to put the barricades out, the soft barricades that we have. One of the reasons is, and I had a discussion with the mayor about this, and we put a $300 limit on it. That's pretty much just helping cut the cost. Well, just take the cost of my guys' time being out there. If we would put the water barricades in place, it would create a situation where I don't think anybody could afford to do it. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're talking with the mayor about it. We're not trying to make it so inexpensive that nobody can afford to do events in the city. So we just basically cover the cost of what it's going to take us to actually put these barricades out for a 4-hour, 4-person man or crew. Like I said, if you wanted a grand scheme of things of really know what it costs for just considering a first Friday, if they would want water barricades, it would run the city roughly around $13,000 for us to do that service because of the time it takes to put them out and fill them up. That to me it's a deal breaker to have anybody want to do that. So that's why we set this price for the $300 mark at just the soft barricades to try to just get some revenue back in, but we're still not making money, but it's helping a little bit, but we're also trying to keep it to where people can still do events and enjoy to do the events.
Gary, I do have a question. I went over the minutes, okay, to get myself up to speed on this. One of the things also that was discussed was a permit for an organization that would go 12 months out of the year, if I understood that right, to give a price on that. Is there anybody in the city that does a 12-month
Well,
special permit?
what happens is normally what we do is the special event permit is for most of them do what they call a single event, which is the $50. What we do is for those like First Friday where they do 6 or more, or the Saturday market where they do, so many events like that, the special events, that's where we get that yearly permit. And that's where you're seeing that we used to request 250 for more than 6 events. Anything under that, it's $50 per event. And what Scott's saying is, in order to try to bring us in line, not basically make money, is requesting the $350 for more than 6 events. And again, there's only very few that come in and apply for those type of special events. Most of them are just like your 5Ks where they do one First Friday, the Saturday market, they come in and get theirs out for a year, those type of things. So there's only like 2, maybe 3 organizations that have more than one event a year.
That's what I kind of assumed, with what was going on, that, it'd be very rare as far as somebody doing a special event every month. That hasn't happened yet. It would be nice, but it hasn't happened yet. The other thing too was, I'm trying to remember everything that I went over in the minutes. The wood pile, the chip pile. Is there a problem with that? That was discussed also or did I misread that in the minutes?
I don't have it. I know we upped the card costs by $5 increments, correct, Gary? Is that what we have?
Correct. Yep.
So it's 10 for renewal and 15 for a new card. Yeah, I didn't have any issues.
The only other discussion that they were talking about is obviously where you get into your contractors. There's a difference in fee in the contractors. And again, that is because, if you're a city contractor, you get a discount versus somebody coming from South Williamsport as a contractor, bringing all their stuff to our mulch pit. that's where we charge them more than we would a city contractor. That's all.
Okay, all
think
right,
Discussion that was had.
okay. And I know this is good. I can remember years and years ago when this was brought to us, first of all, years ago. We were so far behind in what we charged people. It was ridiculous. We were losing money left and right. At least right now, we're up to speed with what other townships are doing also, aren't they?
Yeah,
So-
we looked at that, and again, it's been 5 years since the city's done this, and we had talked about is maybe every 2 years take a look at it in small increments. And again, if you really look at it over 5 years, we're raising $25, and the mulch pit is up increased $5. So nothing is really out of whack, but we are going to take a closer look and maybe see, should we do it every couple of years versus wait every 5 years?
Yeah, I think so, because, for how many years we went without it being even done, even looked at as far as what the fees were. Um, this is off the wall, but I can also remember way back where the mulch pile, you really didn't want to use it because it had termites. How are we doing in that respect?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Ever
Okay,
since.
that was, Scott, that was years ago, years ago. And, it's like, people just didn't, they didn't realize it. And then I know they were all trying to clean that up to make sure that it didn't happen again.
So we grind 3 times a year, so there's really not a whole, so the existing wood don't stick around till we get new wood in. So, it seems to be a fairly quick process.
And who is doing the mulching? Who is doing the grinding?
Well, it's been Wayne Township in the past. I had a individual company reach out to me. They like to throw their hat in the ring, so they're gonna give me a price. We're gonna see where they land, see if they're able to do it, to cut some, save some money there. But we'll see I don't know. I won't grind it till the end of May this year, till after brush cleanup. So we'll know then.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sorry, I overstepped everybody. Randy, Vince, do you have any questions with
I
this?
don't, no, I don't.
I don't
Vince?
have any questions at this time. Thanks, Bonnie.
Well, Gary, I think, and Scott, I think we answered, some of Liz's questions of what she had in the minutes. I think you answered all of them. And I know the water barriers are tremendously heavy and cumbersome.
So yeah, they're not so much. It's not so much that they're emptied. Obviously, when we put them out, it's just very labor intensive. It's getting put out, then getting filled up, and then put in place, and then having crews in after the fact tearing them down, because they're like sometimes right now the events, like for instance the first Fridays, Beth runs that fairly well, and she's the one that takes down our barricades, sets them off side of the road. We come back in Monday. So that's taking overtime costs for my guys that don't have to come in to do that. And
Right,
with
exactly.
barricades, it's going to take 100% of my crew to be there at all times in case of emergency. So we got to drain one and get it out of the way. That's why that's so inflated to, $13,000 just to do the downtown district for a first Friday. And that's where we thought it's not even worth putting that in there to give them an option, unless it's, co-city sponsored event, and most of these events that we're talking about are not.
Right, that's for sure. Well, things will be gearing up soon.
Yeah.
The weather gets warmer and first Friday is going to start and so on and so forth. And I think everybody's looking forward to it. But I thank you guys very much. Okay. And I'm sure, Liz will listen to this and she has any questions Thursday, we'll see. Okay. Next item on the agenda is resolution by municipalities certifying provision of local match for state operating financial assistance. Todd, right, you're up.
Hey, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I can. Can the rest of
Okay.
you?
This is an annual exercise that has been going through for quite some time. The local match provision is for the city's local share towards the overall local match requirement for our 1513 funding allocation from the state. The 1513 allocation for fiscal year 25 was just a little over 6.2 million. And our local share requirement is 518,000 and change. The city's been the longstanding leader in local match amounts. This year, we're requesting $323,938.67. Lycoming County's also continued to commit $100,000 towards local shares, along with what were considered the original partners with Loyalsock Township, Montoursville, South Williamsport, Old Lycoming. Small boroughs that we have include the Boys Town, Jersey Shore, Muncie, Montgomery, and Hughesville. The 6.2 million is roughly 53% of our overall budget, which is just over $10 million. Transit's been doing well. I did provide, I think, a couple ridership charts. In calendar year 24, we increased ridership just about 36,000 more trips than we did in 2023, clearing the 800,000 mark, which is the highest we've been since before COVID took place. But I'll entertain any questions anyone might have on what we're asking for fiscal year 25.
Randy, do you have any questions?
No, I don't really. In the under the resolution and the subject, it talks about the RVTA's allocation was an increase of 6.5%. Did that come from, how was that number how was that number produced, the 6.5%? Was that from the state?
Yeah, the state does the apportionment calculations for the 15-13 monies.
Yeah. Okay. And do they have some kind of formula they go by, or is it just?
Yes, it's formula based. Don't quite know the exact ins and outs of how they determined, but the governor's budget did have an increase in transportation and
so that's a part of that.
24, 25. So I think we got an additional 380,000 over what we were in 23, 24.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is there normally an increase every year, or does that depend on the budget that's passed?
As far as 15-13, the state has been giving us an increase. The local share can go up to 15% of what the allocated amount is. We're never going to hit 15%. So the local share requirement, per the legislation, can go up a maximum of 5% per year. So it's almost safe to assume that regardless of what we get in our 15-13, the local share is going to go up 5%. At least from now, next umpteen years.
That's great. That's good to know. We can prepare for that as long as we know it's coming ahead of time. Okay. Well, thanks, Todd.
Yep, you're welcome.
Vince?
Thank you, Bonnie. No, again, Randy, I appreciate it. We were on the same wavelength. I was looking at that, wondering where the 5% came from. So thank you, Todd, for explaining that.
Todd, I find it terrific that ridership is up. I mean, that's really good. That's what you're looking for. Looking at the routes and everything that you do with the buses, and the draft of the calendar year of the ridership, it's the ones that get the most seem to be Newberry and Montoursville, then Loyalsock, and then we're down to Reach Road. And I know everybody is supporting this. They have to support this as is. When you look at the track record, what are you doing differently to get more customers riding the bus? Just curious.
Back in 2023, we hired an outreach coordinator and really started pushing outreach and education on the bus system, how to use it. She's been very active with human service agencies, senior centers, anywhere she can get in and try and educate the public on what public transit does, where it goes, how to use it. And we've seen that obviously help. We've seen obviously with Reach Road ridership growing, on that route every year as far as who we're taking up there to the businesses. We did a customer satisfaction survey back in June, July of last year, and it was nice to see how people value the service. They think that we have a very good transit system in our city. They all gave our drivers high marks for courtesy, safety, and appreciate the service. Outreach certainly helped, boost our numbers a little bit.
Well, you're doing a terrific job, which is great. Nobody else, any other questions or statements? We're going to move on. Todd, I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you all later, Todd. Next item on the agenda is resolution awarding construction services for the Bowman Field Netting Improvement Project. Bill Scott, you are up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, so we're opening bids tomorrow at 3:30. This is for new nettings at Bowman Field. This is required by Major League Baseball, and as you probably know, the Cutters are in the Major League Baseball Draft League, so that's why we're doing this. To replace the existing netting that's there, plus it's going to extend it down the first and third base lines. It's got to cover all fan areas, as there are new rules and requirements. It's a tight timeline. That's why we're opening bids and trying to get it awarded tomorrow, because the Cutters start their season, as you all know, in early June. We will thoroughly look at the bids. We'll look at their qualifications, experience, make sure all the bid documents, such as insurance, bid bond, non-collusion affidavits, all those things. We'll look at everything to make sure their bids are thorough. This is funded by a grant, DCD, Marketing and Tourism Grant, which again, that was kind of notified to us a little bit late. So that's why this whole thing's a very tight timeline.
Okay, so what you're saying is the bids will be open tomorrow. It used to be a process when the bids are open that, and I don't know whether it's a city law or a county, state, I have no idea, but I do know that the city clerk was the one that would open up the bids. Now, the bids are being opened up after our committee meeting, and what was the reason for this? Since we don't have anything, to really have a discussion about.
No, timeline. This is all time crunch. We don't have 2 more weeks to wait to try to get this awarded, get materials in, and beat the June deadline. It's all about timing. This is not our preference to do it this way. It's just the timing crunch.
Okay. So we looking at the possibilities here. I'm not even going to mention the names because it is a bidding process. Am I seeing correctly that there were only 3 bidders?
We don't know how many bids are yet. The bids aren't received till tomorrow.
You didn't have anybody else? Okay, that's right. You wouldn't know that anyhow until the bids were open. Yeah.
We know there's a couple of companies interested, but we don't receive bids till tomorrow.
Okay, so this will be a discussion for Thursday's meeting then, as far as price, timeline, and everything else. Randy, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Vince? Yeah, Bill, can't wait to hear what the bids are on Thursday. To let us know, if you can even let Public Works, if you could send us an email, okay, of what's going on, that we'd be prepared on for Thursday's meeting. Okay.
I'll do that. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, other than that, the next thing on the agenda is, any related items? Does anybody from the administration have anything to add to today's meeting?
I'll add something small. Most of you guys are already aware, obviously brush cleanup will start April 21st, but more likely Tuesday, because we are off on the 21st. So April 22nd, Tuesday, the city will start going out and about to start collecting brush. So a week prior to the 22nd, 21st, you can put the stuff out on the side of the road next to the curb for us to grab.
Okie dokie.
So.
Thank goodness that's coming up. That means it's going to be warm weather, which is great. Anything else from anybody else? I see Val shaking her head no, and Mel, shake your head no. Okay, and so we'll see everybody on Thursday night, okay?
Alrighty.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Bonnie.
Thanks, bye.
Take care, everybody.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.